Double ton. Do you take a minute to reflect on such a great achievement?
Yeah, obviously, known for a little while this game was coming up, so I had the whole off season to think about it. But yeah, reflected a little bit. I suppose when you first come over, it's a long time ago now, and you just sort of hope to play one game for the footy club, and that's what I was like. So to be still here all these years later is pretty special.
So you were, at the end of last year, you were confident you get picked for round one?
Reasonably confident. I was hoping it was going to be in the final, so didn't quite get there.
We heard you talk about some pivotal moments in your career, obviously the injury. Can you just open up a little bit about that and tell us why it sort of propelled you to be a better player?
Yeah, I suppose early days I had a lot of issues with my body. I spent a lot of time on the sidelines, a lot of soft tissue injuries, and I suppose that year off just gave me a bit of time to strengthen up my body and get in the right physical state to be able to compete at the level week in, week out. And I've said before, but I changed a fair bit about the way I went about it. I got a little bit more professional and looked after myself a little bit more and learnt more. Probably that was the biggest thing, a bit more education around it, and learnt exactly what I needed to do to allow myself to be the best player I could be. So had that year off and got a lot out of that and had a pretty good run since I've been back, thankfully.
Have you enjoyed your footy more or less in recent years? How's your enjoyment levels going when you walk into your day job?
Yeah, love it. Love it as much as I ever have. And I suppose that some of these younger guys, it's weird looking around now. I don't feel like I'm 30 and one of the older boys, but it happens pretty quick. But yeah, loving it still and just love competing. So really looking forward to this weekend and getting stuck into another season.
Have we seen the best of Robbie Gray on the field, or is there more to come?
I think you always like to think you can get better. So still trying to get better every day and work at new things and. So that's what I've been trying to do this summer and get the body in really good shape and ready to attack the whole year. But yeah, I think as a footballer, you always hope and always looking for little ways to improve and get better.
So how do you get better? Obviously, we all think you're a star already, but how do you, those things you've been working on over the summer, how do you get better and what will your role be this year?
The role, I'm not really sure. It'll probably be a little bit of both forward and mid as it's been, but like I said, it's been a slow build-up over the break with my body. I had the knee clean out at the end of last season, so that's been a massive focus for me, just to get my body in the best possible state to be able to compete and be able to play. But there's lots of things, forward 50 craft, my finishing in front of goals, using the ball a little bit better at times, and learning a new game style as well. We've changed a fair bit around on the way we go about it, so just learning to play with these new guys and that have come in.
The game style, I would have thought, being more exciting, opening the game up, that should suit someone like you, and also the 6-6-6 might help you in the forward line.
Yeah, definitely excited. Got a little taste of it in the JLT. It's been well spoken about, the centre bounce stuff, the 6-6-6, and just allows forwards, I suppose, to get a good look one-on-one if it does come in. But and also the midfielders a little bit more room to do a bit of work in the centre square, so that's exciting. But yeah, in terms of the way we're moving the ball and stuff, it's pretty exciting. We kicked a big score in the second JLT game and got a different mix down that forward line now, so I think it's pretty exciting.
The knee clean out, was it the same knee you had reconstructed?
Yep, same one.
Is there times that you're going to be starting as that deep forward from the goal scorer, Robbie, or will that be more one of the tall guys like Marshall will ride and do that role?
Yeah, I haven't done much of it over pre-season yet, but yeah, it's hard to say because we've only had 2 JLT games. You sort of don't know how it's going to pan out. You sort of go into main games now and rotations are a little bit less and restrictive, so it depends how we're sort of feeling, I guess, and how the games go, and we'll see how these rules play out.
You sort of feel like you can play a bit more, obviously with Ebo going more that forward role this year. Do you think you might go back to a bit more midfield than maybe you have in the last year or two?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think it'll be a mixture again. I've got a number of guys that sort of go through there, and it'll change week to week, I think. They've been playing most of my time forward probably in the pre-season, but yeah, going in the middle a little bit as well.
Still got the knee turning your career around. The cancer battle you had, how much did that change your perspective on life and footy? Yeah,
put things in perspective pretty quick, I suppose, after 4 days earlier losing that game against West Coast in overtime. So it was you just don't think something like that's going to happen to you, and it was a bit of a tough time for myself, my family and friends, but I had amazing support, and I had a little baby on the way, so he's here now, and life's good, health's good, so I'm just looking forward to the season now.
Do you approach footy any differently now than before that?
No, not really. I haven't really given it too much thought. I don't think it's changed too much about me. I suppose you realise what's really important in life, and you take, your family is really precious. And like I said, I've got a little one now, so life has changed a little bit from that point of view. But still loving footy as much as ever.
Robbie, last year at the draft, put out a video when Zach Butters was drafted, and Kenny's up in his ear saying Robbie really wanted to pick you. Is there a bit of mayo on that, or was you actually a bit of a Zach Butters fan?
I was a Zach Butters fan, yeah, but I mean, these guys have been watching for a long time. I've done a little bit of work with Jeff Parker and those boys, and looked at a little bit of vision in the lead up to drafts, because it's a bit of an interest and maybe something I'll look into after footy. So I was looking at a little bit of vision, and I just liked what I saw. So I was happy when we got him. But Parks and those boys were very keen on him, and you can see why.
Do you see? Can I go one more on Butters?
Sorry,
Do you see a bit of the way you play in him at an early stage?
Yeah, he probably run a bit better than me. No, he's got some tricks, and he's only his lighter sort of body, but he's stepped straight in, and he's coming off a bit of a shoulder injury, but he's come in and hasn't missed a beat really, and trained really well. But then the last couple of games in the JLT, he's really stepped up, and he's done what we've asked of him, and he's just a great kid, really humble as well. So really happy for him.
How strong was the interest in the under-18 comp? How much have you shown in that? And you touched on Parks. Is that something when your footy's finished that you might get heavily involved in?
Yeah, probably. I went to the under-18s championships years ago when I was out with my knee, so went and had a look there, and I think that was Ollie's year, so got to watch him in under-18s. But sort of hard, I suppose, when we're playing every weekend to get to some of those games. But yeah, respect to Jeff Parker a fair bit, and look at a bit of vision when I can, and we'll have a look at the schedule, and if anything fits this year, to go have a look. And like I said, it's a bit of an interest and maybe something to look at one day.
So what do you like about that?
Just I suppose trying to identify talent and predict how kids are sort of going to turn out, and if they can make it to the next level. I'm interested in American sport as well, and love the list management side of things, I suppose, of AFL as well, and the trading and drafting and all that sort of stuff. So just a little interest. Like I said, I haven't done too much. It's been blown up a little bit about Zach, but we'll see what happens.
When you're doing that, like when Zach or whoever it is, what are the sort of things that you're looking for as to what they're doing on the field?
I suppose everyone would look at the game differently, but I suppose I look at guys that can use footy pretty well, pretty smart with how they go about it, and they've got some tricks and stuff. But all coaches would like different things, or different recruiters would like different things. But that's just me.
Did you speak to Zach before the draft?
No.
Is there a case to be made, Robbie, that those natural sort of footballers, we should go back towards that? I mean, now you guys get coached a lot with all the game plan stuff. It seems like the real natural instinct in the last couple of years may have waned.
I think it's a bit of a balance. You've got to be able to run and move to play the game now. It's such a physical game, and the rotation's limited, and just the power and athleticism of some of the guys out there. You've got to have a bit of both, but definitely like the old school footballers and the ones, the natural ones, and there's definitely a big place for those guys in the game still.
How many years left in your body at this level?
Hopefully a few more. It's sort of a hard one to predict at the moment. I feel as good as ever, and I suppose when you get a little bit older, it can fall away quickly. But at the moment, I haven't really thought about it too much, and feeling really good. So no dramas there.
Sorry, you go.
You go, Brett.
Quite a few new guys are coming out this weekend. What's it going to be like playing with so many different people on the field?
Yeah, I think it'll be a pretty similar team to the one we played in JLT, but I think Kenny mentioned the other day the turnover of about 11 players from our last game last year, so it's very different, but that's exciting, I think. The 4 young boys that will play their first game, and then Berto and Scotty Lysett, so in their first games for the club. So I think it's just exciting. Bit of a new feel around the place, a bit of a freshness. Like I said, we've changed a little bit about the way we play, so I think that's exciting, and we're keen to get into the real stuff now.
I'll ask about the build up to round one. Does it feel different as a player these last few days before you get to finally play?
Yeah, you play that last JLT game and then it feels like forever ago, so you sort of just want to roll into it and get into it. You get a bit restless, but yeah. I come in Monday and was pumped that it was time, but it feels like this week's dragged on a bit, so 2 sleeps to go, and I know all the boys are the same and just really keen to get into it, so we fly to Melbourne tomorrow and prepare, and like I said, playing at the G first up, doesn't get much better than that.
Obviously you've done your homework on Melbourne, Robbie. What do you see out of them, a team that's tipped for sort of top 4 type stuff? It's a pretty stern test first up.
Yeah, they're pretty even all over the park, I think. Obviously got a pretty dominant midfield led by the big fella in there, so we've gone over a bit of our stuff, but a lot of it will be about how we go about it. We're confident in our group, so done a heap of work over off season the way we want to play. So while we've had a look at what they'll do, we'll be concentrating on us a fair bit as well, and excited about what we can bring and get the job done.
What's your reaction when you hear Ken say, "Not even we're going to be able to predict what we're going to do"?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd hope we'll have a little bit of a clue, but we maybe just trying to throw them off a little bit. But we're right to go. We're well prepared and done a heap of work, so we'll be ready. But I suppose with all the new guys, there might be a bit of unpredictability. So we've only played a couple of games together, so there will be a bit of that.
So with you touched on their midfield, but they contested ball beasts like Clayton Oliver and just break short of that. How do you contain them, or do you just try to win that yourself basically and just beat them with their own game?
Yeah, we've got a few ideas on what we'll go to. Obviously that's going to be a big task for our midfield group, but we'll back our guys in there, no doubt. Like I said, we'll concentrate a lot on us. Obviously Gorn is a really tough opponent, and he's been a great player over the last few years and gives them first use. So, but we're really excited about what Scotty and Paddy will bring for us, and to have a quality ruckman in there for the full game. So we're excited, but those guys do rack up a lot of ball and are really strong in the contest, so we're going to have to match them in that area.